All right, Intercultural Communication, week 7, 1 week left, woohoo! This went by fast, so I'm gonna dive right into this. Name a time in which you took a chance to cross a taboo in communication. Did it lead to a connection with people? Well, I didn't meaningly take the chance to cross the taboo. In meetings here at the tribe, you generally let your chairperson talk first, and they're kind of have control. And it was one of my very first meetings as being a manager, and she was talking this and that, and then it kind of goes, you got to go in order around the room versus, because we have our tribal council leader that obviously she's the chairwoman that takes, the leads in the meetings, and then it goes down to everybody else. Well, after she started talking, then I started talking, which everybody's kind of looking at me like, what are you doing? And I didn't really realize, and then everybody kind of laughed, and they're like, oh, we go in this order here, and it was a good learning experience, but it was also, I was embarrassed too, but they said it happens a lot. You just have to understand how it goes. So, everybody understood it. I wouldn't say it was necessarily a connection. It was just something I messed up and didn't do right. So I didn't really take a chance. I did it on accident, but I did learn from it. Then you kind of understand how that culture works within the tribe, and, even in speaking and who goes first, and, where you fit in the line there. So that was kind of cool. One way a public space might function is on a sacred or secular dimension. What might be an ethical consideration that would guide you into how to interact in these space? So I had a good example of this. I went to San Antonio, and I was staying right next to the Alamo. And I thought, I'm going to go in there, and I was taking pictures and this and that, and I didn't really think about it when I was doing it. And then the tour guide came up to me and explained, this is a sacred place. A lot of people died here. We don't let people do pictures. You need to take your hat off. You need to do this and that. And I was like, it didn't really cross my mind. And after that, when I'd go into different places like monuments or museums or just different space where, I was dealing with a tragedy or, something like that, it was always, I kind of looked around and read the room a little bit more like, okay, I take my hat off. Probably shouldn't take pictures here. Shouldn't do this. Shouldn't do that. So it was just, to me, you just kind of got to read the room, look and see what everybody else is doing if you're not sure. And, obviously we all learn from our mistakes, and I did there as well. But it's just kind of one of those things where you just more or less read the room. The textbook provides an in-depth look at cultural spaces. How do postmodern cultural spaces differ from traditional notions of fixed space and time? In what ways do online communities challenge traditional notions of space and location? So for me, working at the tribe, there's a lot of, and the book touched on it too for Indian tribes. We have a lot of sacred lands and sacred places here that very ceremonies, rituals, stuff like that are done. And then, now the postmodern cultural spaces are more set up for, hey, this group's gonna, this is like our textbook kind of said, this is where you speak French or German, or you do this here. And I think a lot of people think it wasn't that way before, so now when I go in there, I'm not gonna, I don't need to obey that. I don't need to do that when it might be sacred to them, but it wasn't set up that way, but now it is. I think we have to find a way to respect that, just as our tribal lands, when you go into, say, the very top of Spirit Mountain, it's a very cultural significant place for the tribe, and there's certain ways you act and do, and things you do and don't do, and you just got to learn that and respect. People might not have that from their own land here, but there's a space where we kind of made for that, and we need to respect that as well as they respect our stuff. So anyway, look forward to hearing what everybody has to say, and I hope everybody has a good week 7, and we'll see you later. Thank you.